Welcome back to CineRecap, your one-stop channel for classic movie recaps. Today, we're exploring the 1944 noir masterpiece Double Indemnity, directed by Billy Wilder. This is the story of Walter Neff, an insurance salesman who finds himself trapped in a deadly scheme of murder and deception. It's a tale of passion, greed, and betrayal that will leave you questioning, can anyone truly get away with the perfect crime? Our story begins with Walter Neff recording his confession in the early hours of the morning. He admits right away that he's committed murder, but he didn't act alone. The deeper we go, the more we realize this was no random act of violence. It was a carefully planned, cold-blooded crime, motivated by lust and greed. But how did a simple insurance man get to this point? It all starts when Walter meets Phyllis Dietrichson, a sultry housewife played by Barbara Stanwyck, who oozes danger from the moment she steps onto the screen. Walter visits the Dietrichson home to renew their car insurance, but Phyllis has something else in mind. Right away, she teases the idea of insuring her husband's life without his knowledge. Phyllis is no ordinary woman. She's the archetype of the femme fatale, cold, calculating, and manipulative. The chemistry between Walter and Phyllis is electric, and before long, she ropes him into her twisted plan to take out a life insurance policy on her husband, murder him, and cash in on the double indemnity clause. At first, Walter hesitates. After all, he's not a killer, he's a salesman. But Phyllis's seductive charm, combined with the promise of a big payday, lures him in. He rationalizes that with his insider knowledge of insurance, they can commit the perfect crime. To pull it off, they need to be meticulous. They study every detail, every possible loophole, and Walter believes he has all the angles covered. The murder will take place on a train, where the double indemnity clause ensures a payout double the normal amount. It's the ultimate high-risk gamble. The night of the murder arrives, and the tension is unbearable. Phyllis takes her husband to the train station, just as planned. But there's a twist. Walter is hiding in the back seat. As Mr. Dietrichson settles in, unsuspecting of what's about to happen, Walter suddenly emerges and swiftly strangles him with a handkerchief. With Mr. Dietrichson dead, they carry out the next part of their plan. Walter impersonates Dietrichson, boarding the train in his place. As the train speeds along, Walter jumps off, making it look like Mr. Dietrichson fell accidentally. But the plan doesn't end there. Together, Walter and Phyllis take the body and place it on the tracks, ensuring that when it's found, it looks like he fell to his death from the moving train. It's all part of the elaborate setup to trigger the double indemnity clause and secure the insurance payout. Enter Barton Keyes, Walter's colleague and an insurance investigator with a sharp mind and a gut instinct that rarely fails him. From the start, Keyes isn't buying the accidental death story. He digs deeper, questioning every detail. Keyes is the moral compass of the story, a man of integrity who believes there's more to this accident than meets the eye. While Walter tries to maintain his composure, it's clear that Keyes is closing in, unknowingly investigating his own friend. Meanwhile, Walter and Phyllis's relationship begins to deteriorate. Paranoia creeps in. Walter realizes that Phyllis may not have been as honest as she appeared. She's been manipulating him all along, and Walter starts to suspect that she might betray him to save herself. The tension reaches a boiling point. With Keyes breathing down their necks and their trust shattered, Walter knows it's only a matter of time before the whole scheme collapses. Phyllis invites Walter over to her house one last time, but this time, both know what's about to happen. Phyllis, armed with a gun, shoots Walter as he approaches. But in true noir fashion, Walter, despite being wounded, manages to shoot her back. In this deadly game of cat and mouse, neither comes out unscathed. Phyllis is killed, and Walter, now gravely wounded, knows his fate is sealed. Walter returns to the office, where it all began. With his last bit of strength, he confesses everything to Keyes. The perfect crime has fallen apart, and now all that's left for Walter is guilt and death. At its heart, Double Indemnity is a film about moral decay. Walter and Phyllis are both victims of their own greed and lust, and in the end, neither can escape the consequences of their actions. From its unforgettable characters to its bleak but gripping plot, Double Indemnity remains a masterpiece of film noir, where no one truly gets away with the perfect crime. Thanks for tuning in to Cine Recap. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and let us know what classic film you'd like us to recap next. Until next time, stay sharp.